Previously, the group continued through the corrupted ruins. They found themselves in a room with 6 braziers in it, and they were told they were in the Hall of Gifts and needed to offer freely in order to proceed. They were also warned again about the Wanting, which the group started to realize might be an actual physical thing. After some back and forth, the group gave up various physical items and used some high-level spell slots as well. In the end, they were told that overall their gifts were odd but acceptable, and they were allowed to move on. On the way out, Rylan grabbed a magical pot that he found and immediately put it to use to get some healing stew. Through the doorway, they found themselves in a hall that branched off in 2 directions. One of them was blocked with a closed door, so they headed down the other way. They found a number of sarcophagi with a noticeable undead feel around them. They also met what they suspected was probably the Wanting, which was a shadow spawn in the form of a literal fucking shadow that clearly had some abilities to affect people's minds. Considering the fact that the sarcophagi were obviously trapped and going to send hordes of undead at them the moment they made the wrong move, Riley decided to use Knock to break the DM. Sorry, I mean to open the locked door. He set off some significant traps in the process, though, which led to a number of injuries and less than positive effects. They wanted to try to get a short rest in before moving through the next door, but while they were resting, Sean and Yuri noticed their shadowy friend flicker into Taria for a moment, which seemed like it might be a bad thing considering her history when it came to things like that. Especially when she then slipped off to talk to Rylan about an obviously trapped chest she'd seen back in the room full of undead. Around that point, the statue in the next room shouted at the group to either come inside or go away, as they were contaminating its operating room. A little concerned by that statement, the group headed inside and gave up on getting a rest. Inside, the statue focused in on Yuri, as he was injured in several ways, explaining that the 4 chalices spread throughout the room would heal body, mind, nerves, and soul. Valrizian managed to play to the statue's ego and turn its attention onto him. He convinced the statue that he was a healer himself, but the statue insisted that he must drink from at least 2 of the chalices before he would be allowed to heal anyone. He drank from the body chalice in the room, which fully healed him. Then he drank from the soul one, which made him feel even better. He then had permission to heal the others via lay on hands. Seeing that nothing bad happened to Valrizian when he drank from the chalices, Tornak drank from the nerve one. It didn't go well, and Sean got the impression that she would need to use some diamond dust and high-level magic on him to fix the problem once her spells weren't quite as limited. As they discussed their plans, there was suddenly a loud screeching from down the hall. Sean and Tornak both realized that Taria was being unusually still, which was because the real Taria had turned invisible and left an illusion behind while she went to go steal the chest that was definitely trapped. Based on the sounds, it hadn't gone well. The group rushed in the direction of the sounds they could hear, while an invisible Taria rushed towards them, chased by a number of powerful undead, including the one whose chest she'd stolen. She let herself become visible again once she made it to the others, and she tried to lie and pretend she didn't know what had set them off. Sean saw through it, though, since she was literally the one who Taria had learned how to lie from. A guilty Taria tried to give the chest she'd stolen back. Tornak and Valrizian couldn't force themselves to move away from the undead woman who the chest belonged to, so Rylan threw up a wall of force to give them time to finally make the mental saves needed. The group then headed back into the Hall of Healing, and the statue inside shut the door behind them. It said that one of the group had to drink from the mind chalice since they were injured again, so Rylan drank from it and regained a bit of magic. The group took a proper short rest before preparing to move on through the now open door on the other side of the room, where someone named Rethan was waiting for them. Sean also noticed the shadow go darting through the door once it opened as well. And that is where we left off.